Hi again. We're obviously in the same place for part 2 of lesson 16. These are the second 5, or the second set of keys for effective communication. We're again looking at them in the context of public speaking, but these will apply with your writing, with any visual communication you do, with all that sort of thing. These 5 canons of rhetoric, traditionally called, were derived by the great Roman orator Cicero. And you could think of the 5 canons by their 5 initial letters: I, A, S, D, N. Iasdom. I know, it trips across the tongue. I is invention. Now we think of inventions as little gadgets that make our lives better, or at least blow up other people who we don't like, whichever. Invention is finding, literally speaking, from the Latin. It means that we are finding and pulling together all the things that we need to accomplish in our speech, in our rhetorical situation. I'm being really careful here because the edge of the stage is right here. So you want to it's partly research, it's partly finding the right words to say to some extent, it's partly finding the right examples, the right stories, the right analogies, the right things that will come together. So you're going to be rummaging around, taking something from over here and something from over there, and a whole bunch of research from here, and all of that stuff put together is invention. A is for arrangement. So after invention is arrangement. It's how we put things together. You don't just want to put things together randomly, but you want to put them together in an order. For instance, for this one, part of my arrangement is starting on stage and then coming down stage until I overwhelm the screen and then come back. Invention is putting things together in the order, in the way that makes the most sense. Arrangement includes the sequence of lessons in this particular class. It includes the overall structure of each lesson. It includes, to some extent, where I'm doing each one of them. And I wanted, as I said in lesson 14, I just wanted to get out of the house. And so we're here at the Silver Bay Auditorium, which is a place where people deliver speeches and other acts of communication. It's a setting for many rhetorical situations, to use another term. So arrangement is all of that, taking what you've found and putting it together sort of the big picture way, the outline way of how you're going to do it. So invention is followed by arrangement. The third is style. Style is really your word choice, how you deliver it, what the appropriate conventions are. For instance, a preacher delivering a sermon is going to deliver the sermon much differently than that same preacher would deliver an essay or a paper or a talk at a conference of learned theologians. Excuse me. So the style really is the speaking style. There are many different speaking styles. How you would talk to a group of high school students might be different than the way you would say the same sort of thing to a group of kindergartners. You would use different words. You would make sure that they could understand what you were talking about. So style is all about the words, the being clear, the being effective in what you say. So invention, arrangement, style. D is for delivery. And this is really the key one for public speaking. This is where people, I think, get the most nervous, because this is where the performance aspect comes in. I'm being really careful about not tripping here because you all would get a laugh at that. Now, I don't mind necessarily telling jokes and getting laughs, but I'd rather not fall on my face and have to do the whole thing all over again just for a chuckle or two. So delivery is how you deliver the words, how you produce the words. Are you going to use a microphone? Are you just going to speak without a microphone? This is a hall that I know very well. that I don't need a microphone in because I do have a loud voice. And one of the things, remember from lesson 14, is breathe from the abdomen. Delivery is more than just how you're going to say it. It takes into consideration where and who you're telling it to. It's a whole bunch of things, but delivery is important. It's the performance part of it. So it's where you need to remember to speak clearly, to speak at a normal pace. There's a type of debate in high school called policy debate, where the policy debaters speak really, 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 really fast, which is a skill we don't really need to use in most public conversation. And so people listen to it and they say, what the heck is going on and why are we bothering with that? So in the style of a policy debater, I will read through the page, the response that you're supposed to be doing to this lesson. Watch, listen to Martin Luther King's speech called I Have a Dream. You may want to follow along with the text in the Unit 3 discussion board. List 1 examples of King's use of each of the 8 keys of rhetoric. So 8 examples total, and briefly explain why each example fits one of the 8 keys. Then comment on at least 2 other students' contributions to the discussion. Normal people don't talk like that. I promise you. But that's also a style that's expected in that community. So you want to be aware of the style and aware of the delivery and the expectations of delivery given in that. I need to remember, being from New Jersey, that especially, and from the New York area, that in recording these videos, I want to speak a little bit slower than normal conversational speed. That helps, given the medium, that helps get the point across. So those are all questions of style. But if you breathe right, with your abdomen, don't get tense up here in the chest, don't get tense in the throat, your delivery will be fine. You want to make lots of eye contact as part of the style. The toughest part for me is to remember to look at this camera up here and not at myself down here, because, especially when I'm close in, because that's not where your eyes are. But if I'm speaking in this auditorium, say, for a real audience, and I were speaking up on stage, I would be not only talking to you there in the front row, but I'd be talking to somebody back there, and somebody over here, and somebody over here, and then somebody down here, and then we have a balcony, so I'd be speaking up to the balcony so that everyone could see me as we went along and hear me. You want to make eye contact for a lot of reasons, including the fact that if I'm looking directly at someone, it will seem to them that I'm talking directly to them, that it's just a one-on-one conversation. That may actually make it easier for you. Another way to make it easy, with a lot of times when you're not necessarily wanting to look directly at somebody, is look at the blank wall behind them. You're at least looking around. Everybody will think you're making eye contact, like I'm doing right now. I'm looking at the windows of the auditorium around the back. I'm not looking at any one particular seat. So that's part of style. All of the delivery, all of the tricks of delivery are designed to help make the speech effective, to put it together. Delivery will involve repetition. One of the things that I hope you've noticed, and I hope I'm remembering to do, in this particular one especially, is repeat each step at the end of each step, so that by the end you will have heard invention, arrangement, style, delivery, and memory multiple times, so that at least you'll remember IASDM, IASDM. One more, memory. That's how you can make sure that people take away what you want them to take away. They're not going to remember your speech word for word. That's okay. What you want them to do is to remember key points and key things. Obviously, for this one, I want you to take away invention, arrangement, style, delivery, and memory. IASDM. And one of the tricks of that, obviously, is repetition. Structure will help with that too, especially if you can loop back in from time to time on things. So IAS, DA, DM are the second group of 5 keys that help define and help make public speaking work. And what I'd like you to do in response to this, lesson 16, is to go online. You're going to find Martin Luther King's speech, Jr.'s speech called "I Have a Dream." It's hyperlinked at the not the assignment pack, but the note outlines for Unit 3. There's a link there also to the text. You may want to follow along with that. In the Unit 3 discussion board, list one example of King's use of each of the 8 keys. So, ethos, pathos, logos, invention, arrangement, style, delivery, and memory. So 8 examples total. And then in just 1, maybe 2 sentences, briefly explain why each one fits the key that you're assigning it to. And then, once they're all in, please comment on other people's contributions to the discussion, either positively or negatively. Ask questions, just make comments, and help explore the 8 keys of communication. See you next time.